Welcome to the Halo Outreach Podcast, where we reach out to you, the Halo community, to keep you up to date on everything that's going on in the Halo universe.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 53 of the Halo Outreach Podcast, a podcast that keeps you up to date with everything going on with Halo. As always, joined by the Pat Man Gaming over here. Lovely co-host. Pat, why don't you say hello?
What is going on, everybody? Good to be back.
Good to be back for sure. It's been a hot minute since the last podcast, man.
Definitely. Holiday hiatus, we keep calling it. That is what me and Kevin, we're going to use the holidays as an excuse for my laziness and we've just been busy in life. Life is just struck, so it's not all about sunshine, rainbows and all that. Like you said, this is our second, just so everybody knows, this is our second time recording this podcast because we've had a crap ton of technical difficulties, but Kevin noted the first time, take one, we got families, man. We got people to take care of, right? It ain't all about, I haven't been in the Pat Cave in a very long time, so it feels good to be back in the saddle, so to speak, and bringing you guys some Halo news.
Yeah, man. It feels good to get back into it. Like, it always feel like it's like I feel like almost every week it's like a mountain, like a hill. Just try and get over it. But once we actually get in to start doing it, I'm like, okay, I'm glad we did that. That was actually really nice. Exactly. And so today on the episode, guys, we got talking about the Halo Infinite high level update that we have coming for us here pretty soon. No exact time frame, but at least a couple weeks to expect that. So we're going to be kind of speculating what we'll see with that. Since the last podcast, we had Halo 4's release on the PC, and the awesome updates that came with MCC on that. So we'll definitely covering that for sure. Pat got an Xbox Series X, so we'll be talking about the MCC updates with that and his experience with that new console. Is it going to be worth you paying that money? We'll have to find out.
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, stay tuned to the whole video to understand
all the details.
But yeah, so how was your Thanksgiving dinner though, man?
It was good, man. I figured we'd start this podcast off saying what we're thankful for. So I will go ahead and say I'm thankful for my health, because that is not to be taken for granted during these times. And hopefully everybody else is the same. Everybody else is good. It's definitely hit some people in the family, but in my household, we've avoided COVID because I stay home regardless. Quarantine has really been my element. I haven't changed really much about my life, except for when I do go out, the rare occasion, I'm wearing a mask. That is literally the only change that I've felt. So I'm good. I'm ready for the apocalypse. Bring it. I'm staying in the Pat Cave. I'm hunkered down. Another thing I'm thankful for is my lovely co-host here, a great friend, somebody who I'm glad I've met and developed a relationship with over this last almost 2 years. We're well over a year now, and very grateful for the work you put into your content, our content together, and just being a good friend. So I appreciate you. I don't have many real life friends. I'm a very picky person when it comes to friends. So be lucky that you've stayed around this long on my list, Kevin. Yeah, could always just ghost and you just never see me again. And just grateful to be making content. Big year on YouTube and stuff. Really hoping to hit 4,000 by the end of the year. That's the goal. But I need a big final month. I'm like 300-400 subs short. So we're gonna need a big final month. Hopefully that Infinite News, man, might do it for me. All it takes is one video, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But what about you? What are you thankful for this year?
Well, definitely thankful for my family. They've really kind of helped get me through this whole year, really, just because of I haven't really been able to converse with anybody, you know. So my social interaction is my family pretty much.
Yeah.
Thankful for my wife now. She's my wife. Became my wife this year, which is quite nice. Yeah. That sounds like such an understatement. Like, it's nice.
Yeah, it's quite nice to have somebody have your back for the rest of your life. Yeah,
I'm also very thankful for the community that we've been able to build on the channel here on Twitch, on YouTube, with you as well. And it's this year's been kind of crazy when it comes to content creation for me. Like, definitely like my biggest year I've ever had. Even November was the biggest month I've ever had on YouTube, and we're not even done with November yet.
True.
Which is kind of crazy. And then this is during like the dead period, right?
Right, exactly.
So it's just building ourselves up towards getting ready for Halo Infinite. Really, set ourselves up right on that one. So I'm just thankful for everyone just checking out the content, supporting it, and just tuning in. When you can, checking out a video, supporting, typing out like, or if you're on Twitch, watching, subscribing, or chatting, or any other way, just interacting with the content in any form or another. I just really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So really thankful for everyone coming by, and then thankful I've been able to be employed this whole year too, because I know a lot of people out there. I know a lot of people out there have it's been pretty tough for them to we hit like 12-15% unemployment or something like that at the peak,
something like that. Yeah,
like ridiculous, man. Like,
yep.
It was just such a difficult year for a lot of people in so many ways. That
shout out to parents out there too, because I was one of the unlucky ones to lose my job because of COVID, because I had nobody to stay with my kids because they didn't have school, and that's kind of what that's my free babysitting. I can't afford babysitting; it's extremely expensive. So, shout out to the parents out there who stay home with the kids and have to do schooling stuff. I don't envy a teacher's job. They it's rough, man. It's hard dealing with kids and trying to be a teacher, being a parent, being patient and all that. So 2020 has definitely been a tough year for me, but like I said, it's just glad to have what I do have, because it could always be worse. Somebody's always got it worse than somebody else out there. So grateful for what I do have. And just can't wait for this damn year and this whole pandemic to be over, honestly.
Me too, man. Like, I feel like it's just been like 2020. I feel like it's just been on hold since March. And so just like, what are you doing? I don't know, staying inside, watching Netflix, playing games.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I know you're talking about when it comes to like you find the appreciation for teachers. Like my wife, who is a teacher, like for like kids are like 5 to 7 years old, like I couldn't do what she does. Like,
nope,
I couldn't put up with kids that much.
Nope. It is not easy.
Not easy for sure. But yeah, so it's always good to remember, guys, to like appreciate what you have, and also for like give thanks to people who are around you in your life. To say hey, I appreciate you. It goes a long way.
Definitely.
But yeah, so should we get into the Halo news, you feel?
Yeah, I think we might be able to.
We touched on all the fields.
Yeah. This isn't the Thanksgiving outreach podcast. This is the Halo outreach podcast.
Exactly, yeah. So if you guys do not know, it was pretty much on Reddit. It was just a reply on Reddit, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Because it was Sketch who was kind of simmering down some expectations people were kind of just building because of the VGAs are coming around. Sometimes you have some pretty cool announcements. We haven't heard anything about Halo Infinite. This is like the last main event happening within gaming, and so it'd be a good time for Halo Infinite to make some kind of announcement, some trailer or something like that. Sketch went on the Reddit, replied saying they don't have anything planned for the VGAs, and so
that rumor was false.
Yeah. And but it is important to know that he said that it's important to know that they are currently working on a high level update, to kind of I'm sure this kind of let us know exactly what's been going on, because really they've been very reactive when it comes to Halo Infinite stuff, and rather quiet ever since the announcement of the delay.
Yeah.
And what do you feel is going to happen with this high level update? What do you think is going to be in this, Pat?
I'm hoping for new gameplay. They did acknowledge that how hard it is to put gameplay together for something like the VGAs, but if they're doing their own event, like another 343 holiday stream or something, they could easily just stream some gameplay from the studio there or wherever they're doing the recording at. So I'm hoping for new gameplay. I don't necessarily expect it. I would love a multiplayer trailer of some sorts, even if it's not multiplayer gameplay. I want to see multiplayer gameplay, But like think Halo 5, take that into consideration when we got the Halo 5 multiplayer announcement trailer with like the Spartans in a breakout map, just ground pounding and taking cover and thrusting everywhere and crap. I mean, even if we got that, just to get a sense of something about the game, I do expect, hopefully, to have a lot more questions answered. Of course, we're not going to get everything answered. They're going to play their cards right. They've been doing it so far. That's not going to change. But
very close to the chest.
Yes, very close to the chest. But no doubt that we're going to get more information on Halo Infinite, which is always a great thing. That is, that's what we're waiting on. Unishek kind of mentioned it too with the community update, how a lot of people are disappointed that we're learning a lot of stuff about the game or seeing a lot of stuff about the game from promotions and not from the game itself, which is the way it should be. But with the delay, a lot of things were set in place with promotions, they said, as far as with their partners and stuff, and you can't really go back on that stuff. It's even if the game gets delayed, the marketing team is separate, obviously, than the development team, so they kind of move ahead with the promotions and stuff that they had planned, which is unfortunate because we don't want to. I don't want to keep seeing all these promotions and be like, I don't know anything about this game. I don't care about Chips Ahoy and what freaking coatings they're offering or Butterfinger or Monster and stuff. I want to see more of the game that I cannot wait to play. And that's been definitely a tough balance to strike, but I like that 343 came out and acknowledged that, we all assumed that's what was happening, why we were seeing all this stuff from these promotions, but it's good for them to acknowledge it. And they even acknowledged something that I think was really important too, because I think me and you can both agree on this. 343 has been great as of late with transparency when it comes to MCC. Go back to the very first episode of the Halo Outreach podcast where we had John Friend and Jeff Easterling on, and they were great with transparency there as, all right, here's what we took the feedback from week 1 of Outpost Discovery. Here's what we're going to fix about it. You should see these changes next week. And I went there and I experienced those changes because I went to 2 different, I went to the first one, I went to, I think, the third one. And I saw the changes that happened, and what 343 said they were going to do, they did. And I loved that amount of transparency. They acknowledged that recently. They said, Sketch literally used the word transparency when it comes to Infinite. And I think it has been lacking with Infinite. We've kind of been left in the dark. And the fact that they acknowledge that, I think, is really good to, look at yourself and say, all right, well, what can we do better for this community and, do better with what we've been doing with MCC and stuff, that they can do it. We know they can do it. And I can't wait to see. Hopefully we get a steady drip of information now with Infinite's development. Hopefully even like something like the sprint like we got with Halo 5 would be awesome to see a peek inside development. Everybody loves those kind of things for the hardcore fans. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
You didn't mention about restarting this engine when it comes to like
the
promotion and getting people the hype train for Halo Infinite after the holidays, which makes me think like what, January, February, we might actually start seeing some actual content about Halo Infinite start coming out, so now we don't have to read terms of services legal documents when it comes to more information about the game and stuff like that, which would be really nice. Would make my job and your job a lot easier when it comes to doing YouTube stuff. And though when it comes to like this high level update, I don't know if we're going to necessarily get anything into specifics. I think it's going to kind of fall along the same lines that we saw for like the blog update that we saw for the July reveal and the Discover Hope reveal and the announcement reveal. Something along those lines, where I think it's going to be much more like a blog update, kind of just generally telling you what's going on. I don't think we're going to even see like gameplay. Maybe some. I think you might get like a screenshot or two to kind of get your whet your appetite, if you will, in the way. Maybe like a screenshot of like a multiplayer map or something like that.
Right.
I can see that, but I think it's going to be just like a straight up like blog post reply and just kind of addressing a few things. Like you definitely need to address the coding system. They might have to play their hand a little bit more than they would like for the coding system right now, because that's such a huge issue within the announcement, because they basically said, you're getting this, we're taking away this, but trust us, it's better. But 343 has always been kind of struggling with player trust pretty much ever since MCC. Yeah. And it's just Like it's that whole. So they're gonna have to address that. I would like to see him address in an official capacity Chris Lee's departure as well, because they on 343's website you wouldn't even know that he's gone. You know,
Phil Spencer did acknowledge it, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. And what do you say about it? Actually, I don't think I read exactly. If I did,
I think it was Phil Spencer. It's either Phil Spencer or like Matt Booty or somebody like that. But just basically, yeah, this stuff happens, and I think it was Phil, that this stuff happens in game development all the time, and that people shouldn't read too much into it. That he was basically done with what he needed to do, and also saw something about Joe Staten being really impressed with what he saw with Halo Infinite, which you know that's all. You know, who's to say? You know, of course they're not gonna say, well, Joe Staten came in and he thinks the game looks like absolute crap. You know, that's not gonna happen. But stuff like that is definitely interesting to read. But yeah, Phil came out and just said, like, listen, you know, the Chris Lee departure. I know a lot of people were having, you know, a lot of you know, doubts about that and where the game is. He's like, but I wouldn't buy too much into that. So
yeah, and he was replaced by two really great, you know, people with Joseph Staten and Pierre Hintz, who was the head of the publishing team for the MCC.
Yeah.
So if he knows how to fix a game from the grave, Pierre Hintz would do a pretty good job with that. But he's more on the multiplayer side of things, where Joseph Staten's on the campaign side of things.
Right.
But again, you have two great people just for those two positions, which is kind of crazy to think that you need two people to recover for Chris Lee.
Yeah.
Kind of tells you how much he was doing for the team.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? But yeah, I think it's mainly gonna be a blog post, kind of just overarching kind of stuff. I wouldn't expect gameplay, maybe a screenshot or two or something interesting. I think they just need to kind of show why some of the new things that they've talked about. Like, I'd also like to see like the challenge system, how that exactly kind of plays out within the game.
Yep.
Because having that come back in Halo Infinite, it's freaking awesome. I feel it's been kind of swept under the rug when it comes to news. But yeah, that's what I'm really hoping, man. That's just kind of. I think it's also gonna be a bit of a one-stop shop for all like the loose stories that have been kind of going around since the announcement of the delay.
Yeah, hopefully.
And so I think, and that's kind of the main point. I think this whole thing.
Don't think we get a release yet either.
No, I wouldn't expect that either. I think I don't know if you watched Sean W. He did a video of his super secret source saying that they're planning to show Halo Infinite at E3 2021. And I think if that's the case, then we're probably going to see like a fall release.
Yeah, I mean,
if we're going to get
the game's not coming out, and yeah, of course it's going to be at E3. That goes without saying for sure.
Mm-hmm. Because Phil Spencer has mentioned about how 2021's lineup might actually be something more concerned for selling consoles rather than 2020's lineup.
Right.
Because they can't keep those Xboxes on the shelves. You know, they're flying off as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Same thing with PlayStation and stuff like that, because this generation is such a huge jump compared to the last one.
Right.
That people are just overwhelmed by the power of these new consoles. That's like it's like a no-brainer if you're a console player, really.
Yeah.
And you know, you could see a fall release, which would suck, but then also would get proper time for marketing, proper time for news drip feeds for us as well.
Time for some sort of flight, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're doing a spring release, I would probably expect to like see like a Call of Duty like you know, promotional beta rather than an actual beta, like a stress test, you know, thing. Where like if you actually do a fall release, it probably gives you enough time to do a proper flight, so get community feedback in. Even though I kind of already trust the people that are working at 343, at least in the gameplay side of things, especially like the pro team that they have there, I definitely would trust those guys to make like a solid multiplayer for Halo if their feedback's taken properly.
Yeah,
you know, which I have a feeling this time around it will be compared to what it was in Halo 5. But when do you expect to see this? Like, what's the absolute latest you would expect to see this high level update come out?
The absolute latest, you said? Absolute latest would have to be December 31st. I think they would have to do something before the end of the year. I mean, they said a couple of weeks, but then they also said after the holidays, which I don't know if they meant. If they meant like Christmas and stuff, then yeah, we're looking at end of the year. But then that's more than a couple weeks away. So Maybe they meant Thanksgiving for that. So maybe between now and Christmas, we'll see something. I think we're getting a big community update on the 14th or 17th or something, right, from Unisec. But that was confirmed that's going to be separate from the high level update for Halo Infinite. But Unisec did say something really interesting that I pointed out in one of my videos, that he said, of course, you'll expect more Halo Infinite news in the high-level update than in the community update. So maybe we get a little bit of tidbit of information in that community update, and then after that, we'll get a lot more information on the high-level update.
I feel like he kind of prefaced it, making it sound like the high-level update's coming out before the community update. Because I think the community update is supposed to be like a year, right, a culmination of everything that happened in the year, which I think is kind of a really nice way to kind of end, like when it comes to 343's communication with the community, is to end on that rather than on a high level update. Just because I feel like it just kind of puts a button on the end of the year, at least for communication and stuff like that.
I guess. I mean, the community update is not really going to be Infinite focus, so
it's
the
not.
fact that they're two separate things. I don't know. The way I read it, it sounded like it was after, but it could be. I mean, we'll see.
But I could probably see it coming out that same week, though, because
definitely.
That's December 17th is on a Thursday. The Thursday, which is like the week before the week of Christmas, where I'm sure you're not going to be hearing anything.
No, you're not
for those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'd have a feeling probably within the week of like the 14th, between the 14th to the 18th is when I'm expecting to probably see this high level update come out. So make sure you subscribe to the channels. My channel, Pat's channel. I mean, hell, even other people within the community as well. They can use your support.
Sure.
But you should watch our stuff first, though.
Yeah, and then we got to plug ourselves first.
Watch other people's stuff. Really, just as common courtesy.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want
just
that
let it play. You don't have to watch it. Just let it play. At least help the analytics out, people.
Yeah, get that watch time up.
Yeah.
So I think really until then, we're just kind of waiting, man. To get some Halo Infinite stuff. I'm trying to get creative with the content. The last week has been pretty slow. Yeah, and I think I have a feeling a lot of stuff is gonna be pretty slow until those updates come out.
Yeah, definitely.
So like I got a music video that's coming out on Monday for my holiday special every year, and I can start getting more creative when it comes to content right now.
Yeah,
because I can't just rely on strictly just news stuff.
No.
Yeah, you have anything else you're kind of looking to kind of integrate with your channel when it comes to like the slow news time?
Nope. Just sticking to the news. I'm good with 1 to 2 uploads a week for now. I'm not really pressing it. I am not the creative type. I can be creative, but it just takes way too much time out of my day to do something like that with the kids and stuff. I just wouldn't be able to focus on a lot. So I got to pick and choose my battles, unfortunately. But I am looking forward to, the Infinite stuff. That should definitely help you. We should hopefully be able to make at least a couple videos out of this Infinite update, because that's what people are really looking forward to. Even my recent Halo Infinite news video did really well, which I wasn't expecting, because I was a couple days late on it, and it still did really well for my channel. So people obviously still are waiting to hear about this game. There's been a lot of controversy with the game lately, a lot of negative news, which is unfortunate, but hopefully this kind of steers the ship straight for Halo Infinite, and we get something we could really sink our teeth into.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Yeah, so I think we can move on to the next topic of Halo 4 PC launch, you think?
Yes.
Let's move over to that. Pat, have you been playing it much? Like, we haven't really chatted or played a whole lot since the last podcast.
Since the update. No, I have played a little bit of it. I played it for a solid couple days. Enjoyed a little bit of Halo 4 squad battle because of course, putting those camos behind those challenges, which I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of them doing that. I know a lot of people aren't, but I think people should be rewarded for stuff in game. I've been a proponent of that for a while. I've said that several times, how I like earning stuff in game and kind of showboating and showing it off, much like the katana wasn't easy to get. You had to get all the achievements. Stuff like this is really cool. And speaking of that, I was actually able to snag, thanks to I had Jimbo, Puma, and Josh in a party with me. We grinded out Recon Slayer for the last couple days before it went out, and I got to 20 barely and got that Arctic skin. And it actually looks really good, dude. Like, honestly,
it does.
it looks really good and much better than the Halo CE version. And it just sucks because I don't play that much Halo 3 on MCC. So I'm kind of happy that I got it, though. But the Halo 4 squad battle, man, I haven't played it since launch, but it was even sweatier than Recon. And I thought Recon was extremely sweaty. And we were getting curb stomped on squad battles, so that was definitely interesting. But
well, because like right now the people that are left playing the MCC are like the dedicated fans of Halo that just like never left. And so like getting like level 20 is in like squad battles now is more like getting like a 50 really for the type of people you're playing against.
Yeah, and you got to get to 25 for the final camo and 15 I think for the first one. And I said the same thing about Recon. I'm like, man, a 20 in this place, this is almost like getting a 50 with how sweaty it is. Yeah, this is even worse, dude. I do enjoy it a lot more than I enjoyed Recon Slayer because just having a BR and the hit detection and how good it feels in Halo 4 compared to the hit detection and the randomness of the Magnum in Halo 3.
Hit detection is crisp in Halo 4.
Yes, it is very crisp. So, that's been nice, but it's been a struggle, man. But besides that, I mean, playing Halo 4 on PC, played a little bit of the campaign. I haven't tried Spartan Ops or anything yet, but it feels good, man. And, the interpolation fixes that they implemented feel really good.
So good.
Yeah. Playing on unlimited frames is a lot better. And of course, the biggest thing about this update, I think, for a lot of people is crossplay. Crossplay, input-based matchmaking, server region selection, all that stuff came with this update, and that is huge stuff for MCC. And it's been working flawlessly. I've been playing with friends on Xbox and vice versa, playing from my Series X with people on PC and playing on PC with friends on Xbox. We've not had a single problem. So, really glad that has been implemented. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, me included. This is probably the biggest feature for me that's been implemented into MCC. So I'm glad to see it there.
I honestly think like this was the biggest update we've ever had to the MCC.
Yeah.
Was the Halo 4 update. You get a whole new game. You get crossplay. You get input-based matchmaking, server region selection as well.
Yep.
And just a bunch of other just minor fixes and a whole new season as well to grind out for more content.
New Forge stuff for the Forgers out there. A lot of big Forge updates for Halo 4. So,
yeah. And I mean, also that video did pretty well for me on my channel as well. Well, I was sitting at like 75,000 views on it, like insane.
Jesus, on what?
I know.
Video?
The video I was like the biggest MCC update ever video I made, and then people watch it. I even had like people on my Facebook friends be like, "Hey, I saw your video." Like, what?
You're like,
oh god!
Yes.
Oh no! I got nervous. Like, oh no, it's real life, internet life. We're starting to converge. This isn't good.
Oh god! That'll be the day when my mom texts me like, "Your video popped up for me." Like, oh no.
It was like some guy from like high school I've never talked to since high school, and he's like, "Hey, I saw your video on YouTube. Like, I've been playing Halo here and there." I'm like, crazy.
Dude, that's a good feeling because like somebody texted me too. They're like, "Dude, I was looking up Halo Infinite Monster promotion and your video popped up on Google." I'm like, "Yeah, that means I'm doing something right, baby. Let's go, SEO."
Hell yeah. Yeah, those residual view videos.
Exactly.
Build up a nice bank of those. I've been trying, but a lot of times they just kind of die off real quick for me.
Yeah. But with that Halo 4 update that we also got on the same day that Xbox Series X and S update.
That's right there.
Yes, on MCC. Now, let's talk a little bit about that, Kevin, because I did a couple of videos on this. The major difference being the load times with the solid-state drive built into the Series X and S versus the Xbox One. I did a comparison between Xbox One X and Xbox Series X. And graphics-wise, not much difference. I couldn't tell anything. Absolutely anything. Which I expected because Xbox One X, I believe, was already on like the enhanced textures and stuff like that. We were supposed to get slightly better draw distances, but I couldn't really notice. I'm not Digital Foundry. I'm not really good at recognizing, like zooming in, like, all right, well, you can see that there's 10 more pixels right here on this tree, 600 yards away on this version. They did an excellent job with artifacting and anti-aliasing. No, but from sheer, just looking back and forth, I couldn't really tell that much of a difference. The huge difference being, like I said, load times and the FOV slider is exclusive to the Series X and S versions for now. It should be coming to Xbox One as long as no problems keep persisting. That's why they took it down off the flight and made it exclusive for now to Xbox Series X and S. And the other huge difference is 120 FPS in MCC. Now,
which is if you've never played 120 FPS, like it's a huge difference. Like if you think going from 30 to 60 is huge, and you think, oh, game 120 though, that's excessive.
That's
overkill. I don't need that many. Yeah, that's what I thought at first, honestly. But then I remember when I, was playing Battlefield 4 and I upgraded to 120 frames. I was like, oh yeah, this is really butter. This is where you really want to be.
Literally butter. Like that. I've been playing. The new Call of Duty is absolutely abysmal on the launch Xbox One. On Xbox One X, it's even unbearable. It's not even. I don't even think it's 60, dude. I don't think it's 60 frames.
Modern even on the Warfare 1X. wasn't even like 60. It was terrible. I couldn't play it. Yeah. It was blurry and just like the draw distance was like 5 feet.
Awful.
And after beyond that, just like low res and just like framey and just like I couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
I just uninstalled it. I'm like I just can't do this. I can play it on PC just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's well on PC.
I've been playing Call of Duty a little bit on my graphics card came with a PC version, so I'm glad I didn't have to pay for the game twice. But I got on the Series X, it's obviously performs a lot better. The 120 frames is a huge difference. The biggest thing though with MCC is, and this is kind of disappointing, and I hope. It could be a problem with the old engine, but a game like Call of Duty, you can have 120 frames and have an FOV slider on that game on the Series X. But for some reason on MCC on Series X, you cannot have FOV slider. If you put 120 frames on, FOV slider disappears. You
really?
Play it. Yeah, you have to play a default FOV, which is really disappointing. So to choose, it's really a hard choice. I choose 120 frames over the FOV. I'll deal with the abysmal FOV, but it would be nice to have both. So hopefully 343 can work that into the future. Maybe, like I said, because of the old engine, it's just not possible, but I don't know. I don't claim to know anything about game design, but the way my brain works, I'm just thinking like, okay, game like Call of Duty comes out in 2020, way more demanding, can pull it off. Why can't old Halo games? But like I said, could be a problem with the old engine and trying to fix that with everything. Another thing I noticed with my graphics comparison is that the Xbox One X, for some reason, has a higher default FOV than the Xbox Series X.
Oh, really?
Weird. Yeah, that was weird. I thought that was a weird thing. So,
so you're saying like the default FOV for Xbox Series X is actually wider than the default on like the Xbox One?
It's more zoomed in than it is on the Xbox One X. The One X is more zoomed out, which is weird. So maybe they tampered with the default values. Like if you just click the button to reset everything to default, obviously on the One X, I can't see the FOV, values.
You don't have the number
not there. Right. So whatever the default is on the One X must be a better FOV than on the Series X. So I thought that was interesting as well. But yeah, the biggest thing is the load times, man. There was a 20 to 30 second difference sometimes, like loading in Halo 2 Anniversary, playlists, Forge. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. Multiplayer, you can't start the match until everybody's in there anyways. So the higher, the better load times don't really factor in. But 20 to 30 seconds, especially on, if you're playing like Assassin's Creed or The Witcher or something, that's going to make a huge difference. You're probably seeing maybe upwards of like GTA 5, upwards of a minute difference between load times. So that was really impressive. That's obviously, we've been experiencing that on PC for a while, but it's nice to have, the console space come through with that. It's pretty dope.
Is there an SSD on the Series X?
Yep. Series X and S both feature a SSD. The S is a 500 gigabyte SSD, while the Series X is a 1 terabyte SSD. Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, SSD is like a total, pardon the pun, but game changer when it comes in.
Yeah. Definitely.
Definitely, yeah. But so right now, would you suggest hey, if you're a console player, get this Xbox Series X now, or just wait until Infinite?
It depends on what you're playing, honestly. If you're just playing MCC, like Halo 5 didn't receive any upgrades. So if you guys are wondering that, we're talking strictly Halo space. No, I don't think it's worth it right now. Unless you have, and it also there's a lot of things to factor in. Do you have a 120 hertz monitor or TV that can take advantage, that has HDMI 2.1? Because that's what you need to display this. Like I even tried, I had a monitor that I was testing out that was 1440p, 100 or 240 hertz, and it played 120 frames fine on the Series X because it had a 2.1 HDMI. When I went back to my old monitor, that it's 165 hertz because it's HDMI 1.4 or whatever it was, or 2.0, I could not play in 120 frames. So you have to look up, the technology that you have. If you have, a 120 hertz TV, it's worth it for the 120 frames. But if you're just playing MCC, no, it's not that graphically. You're not going to be blown away. Games like I've tested, like Gears 5, like I mentioned earlier, Call of Duty, huge difference, huge jump, like a huge generational leap. You're playing on like low settings on the base Xbox One on Call of Duty. When you switch to Series X, you're playing on high to some settings are probably ultra at some point, but not everything ultra, obviously. But
they have like specific like high res texture packs for Ultra Edition, like Ultra settings. Because I on PC, I just downloaded like the high end one. I didn't bother with like the 4K textures,
right? Which
like add like an extra like 150 gigabytes or something like that to the download. Yeah, or on console you have to download the whole thing, which I think on console for Cold War is it pushing like 200? It's like 175. Something like that.
One something definitely.
And that's because of the HD textures.
I think it's actually only 130. I think the regular game is 90, and the HD version is like 130. So it adds 40 gigs. Still substantial.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
the ray tracing is on the Xbox Series X as well. And I did like a little side by side screenshot in Zombies of ray tracing off versus ray tracing on, and that's a huge difference. So if MCC could get ray tracing enabled, I don't know how much big of a difference it would make on old games like the MCC has, but I think it would definitely make a difference on like reflections and stuff. Love to see 343 implement that in the Series X. That would be cool to test out.
I think they mentioned that they want to look into if they can do it.
Yeah, they definitely acknowledged it, but no guarantees.
Yeah, they think, you think maybe sometime in
have it.
Yeah, especially now that's going to be delayed. Right, I think because they mentioned that it sounded like they were looking to patch in ray tracing for Halo Infinite around like February.
Yeah, they were it was a post-launch patch, so they already acknowledged it will have ray tracing, but hopefully we get it at launch now.
Yeah, I feel like a game like Infinite, you need to have ray tracing at launch because that's supposed to be like the console seller.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those dedicated features to your new system that you need to show off. So, and first party needs to show off every little feature. That's another really cool feature too by the Series X, the quick resume feature, where you could say, not every game supports it right now. They turned it off for some games, but MCC does support it. I can confirm that. So if say I'm playing a different game that supports quick resume, and I'm like, you know what? I'll switch over to MCC real quick and grind out some challenges in campaign. It will pick up right where I left off in that campaign mission. Like if it'll just unpause and you're playing Tip of the Spear midway through the mission right where you left it. And then you can switch back to the other game and be halfway through that. And it's a really cool feature. You could do up to like 4 or 5, 6 games at a time.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And I think that's definitely a game changer, especially once they get every single game working. Right now, it only supports they said thousands of titles, but not every single game. So that was very interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool feature.
I'm still holding off for a new graphics card if I'm leaning into. I'm not like Pat who can go I'm going to get a new graphics card and a new console.
Yeah, not everybody can be a Pat. It's okay.
I'm holding on to the PC side of things. I'm looking for either a 3080 or the new AMD graphics card, which I've heard is actually better than the NVIDIA card. But I need to look more into it. I just want to. That's
a debate for a different day. I could say a lot of things on that, but go ahead.
But yeah, so Xbox Series X, maybe if you're only playing Halo, maybe hold off. But if you play a variety of games, or if you're able to utilize some of the new games that came out this fall, like the new Assassin's Creed and stuff like that.
If you're looking at Cyberpunk, that would be a huge
Cyberpunk too. Cyberpunk with ray tracing though. Ooh, and you got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming out in spring.
Yeah.
Which I'm definitely will be playing that.
Same.
Which I'll be sadly a sad boy without ray tracing, but hopefully soon. Soon enough. I'm definitely looking forward to that game a lot, though.
Yeah, I wish it was a full remaster though, not just we're upgrading the resolution of the game. Like I wanted a full new textures. I know that would be a huge undertaking. No, I thought I read that it was just literally like a upscale resolution, not like redoing. It's not a remaster or not a remake or anything. It's just a remaster where they just up the res of it.
I'll have to look into that because I was actually going to make a video because I think it'd be super cool if they were going to update the textures and things like that. Yeah. If they made a much more cohesive experience between all the games,
Yeah.
Basically like have all the textures be the same throughout the games.
Yeah, that would be.
So they'd be more like you're playing like one entire continuous story rather than playing 3 separate games.
Yeah.
Because I've heard like the main issue has been Mass Effect 1's been kind of holding it back when it comes to updating it properly.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I played it on PC where you can get like above 60 frames and you can update the textures and stuff like that, but it can be a little buggy at times, especially on the PC version for Mass Effect 2 and 3 as well. It can be a little buggy, but still very playable.
Yeah, definitely.
But Xbox Series X, if you want to, give it a go. Hopefully Santa treats you right. Were you a good boy? We are wearing a mask and staying. We're wearing a mask, keeping 6 feet. You're being a good boy. Maybe Santa comes by with an Xbox Series X.
You never know.
So we're going to the playlist updates here, Pete.
Yeah.
If you want to go into that a little bit.
Yeah, let's go into these playlist updates. So with MCC, they actually another thing that's coming is a big December patch, hopefully fixing a lot of bugs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They also did the push to talk update for controller users. So now you can just push, what is it, like down on the D-pad?
Something like that.
Yeah, down on the D-pad to talk if you're on controller, and that's on by default. If you want to change that, you can go to the settings and do that. So that is definitely cool. We plan on having Tyler Postums Davis on the show soon on Halo Outreach Podcast to answer some of your guys' MCC questions and some of me and Kevin's MCC questions as well. So that will be really, really fun to have him on. I cannot wait for that. I'm sure we got a bunch of stuff. I've been getting in a lot of questions from my community, so I'm looking forward to that. And as far as playlist update for MCC, this is kind of interesting stuff, so let's go over it. So with between right now and November 30th, which is actually today, the time of recording this, they added in some new holiday-themed Thanksgiving stuff. So there's a Turkey Time playlist in MCC, which rotated in for Halo 3 Social FFA. Reach CE Anniversary rotated out. They removed Epicenter from Halo 4 4v4 Social and Shatter Slayer Dominion from Halo 4 Squad Battle. They adjusted the rank restrictions for Halo 4 Squad Battle to help search times at higher ranks. Which I don't have that problem, so another thing to note, Halo 2 Anniversary Hardcore has taken the spotlight, so they've been doing a rotational thing in the ranked playlist, yes. So Halo Reach Hardcore and Ranked Recon Slayer have been removed. So yes, you can no longer get that sexy Arctic-looking camo for the sniper. It may come back in a future challenge, but for right now, it is gone. And I do
like hardcore H2A.
Oh, that's fun. Definitely. I mean, I like H2A in general. I love H2A. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love H2A. So right now, which me and Kevin are probably going to plan on doing a little grinding after the podcast, all challenges, weekly challenges are awarding double XP right now in MCC. What? So we got to we're on that blue badge pursuit right now. So another thing to break down, there's some really cool game modes in there. I hope they continue to do this with MCC. So there's Turkey Fiesta, where the more kills you get in a row, the slower you go, because everybody gets the itis when they overstuff themselves on Turkey Day, and you're slower to move.
That's exactly what happened to me. I ate too much, and I passed out for like 2 hours after eating.
Dude, I passed out immediately.
And then I woke up like after a 2-hour nap, and then I couldn't go back to sleep until like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Same. I actually passed out at my mom's house, and I have an 1.5-hour drive home. So I just woke up and just drove home, ate some apple pie. My wife made some homemade from scratch apple pie that was magnifique. She did excellent. So shout out to her cooking skills. Ate some of that apple pie. Yeah, I was stuffed. So another one is Turkey Carver. So all swords all the time. Wishbone Brawl, where oddball variation, where you get points for oddball beatdowns. So that's kind of fun. Black Friday, I thought this was the best one. It is melees only because it's all out pandemonium on Black Friday. Everybody's beating each other up for TV deals and stuff. So that, like, people are getting, I mean, that's not funny. People get it trampled on Black Friday. I know that's not funny, but it is freaking pandemonium. And then one called tryptophan. Tryptophan. I don't know what that is. What is that mean?
It's a chemical within turkey meat that basically will make you tired.
There's a chemical in turkey meat that makes you.
Well, it's like part of like the turkey like protein compound. Like it's like what's in it's like what's in turkey meat. It's called tryptophan. So it's the only time of the year you'll ever. It's whenever you have someone who's just trying to flex like they think like they have a lot of knowledge on something. They're like, well, it's because of tryptophan is why you're tired. Like, shut up. It's because you ate 3 pounds of food before.
So it's the Kevins of the world that are. I've literally never heard of this, and I know a bunch of random facts, so thank you. I learned something today. That is an infection. The more you know. That is an infection variant. So that is the MCC update that we got. Now we have also Halo 5, of course. So right now, it is the 30th of November, so Global Double XP is live for Thanksgiving weekend for Halo 5. So every playlist is featuring Double XP. On December 3rd, the winter 2021 arena season will begin. So the first season for 2021 for Halo 5. Core play is also rotating in for Triple Team as a featured playlist to get double XP in Halo 5 once that global XP ends. If you guys want to continue to get increased XP values, then core play will be the way to go starting on December 3rd. But that brings us to the end of the playlist update and the end of this podcast.
Woo.
So, Kevin, if people are looking to find, for one, your holiday special video or your streams or want to interact with you on social media, get to know a little bit more about the KevinKoolx, where can they find you at?
Type KevinKoolx on the internet.
And you will find,
and you'll find it. KevinKoolx on YouTube, KevinKoolx Halo on Twitter, KevinKoolx on Instagram. I did actually look into making a TikTok, but then decided not to because it's still partially owned by China.
Good man.
Don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
Switch, KevinKoolx as well. And yeah, I really appreciate if everyone wants to go check out that holiday video. I put a lot of effort into it. It's probably one of the better videos I think I've ever made, honestly.
There you go. You heard
Quite excited about that. And our buddy Rapscallions on drums.
There you go.
On that one.
So
it's all good there. How about you, Pat? Where can people find your content on the internet?
If you guys so choose. My content is at the Patman Gaming. You can find me anywhere on social media with that handle, on YouTube with that handle, and Twitch with that handle. Just type in the Patman Gaming, you'll find me, and look forward to hopefully pushing for 4,000 by the end of the year. That would be really nice. If not, so be it. We'll make it up. I'm sure there'll be some big months to come for the channel, so I'm really excited about that. And just good to get another podcast episode done.
Yeah, man, it's been too long.
Yeah, definitely.
Man.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around and being patient with us. Appreciate every single one of you that watched this video on YouTube or listen on Spotify. Appreciate you guys, which, if you didn't know, we are on Spotify as well and on Podbean if you want to save that phone battery. But if you want a little more interaction, you get to see our lovely or not so lovely faces, depending on who you ask.
I trimmed up my beard today, so I made sure it was looking good.
Trimmed up a little bit. So, to look presentable for the people.
Exactly.
And if you guys want that interaction, watch us on YouTube or come by live next time. Follow us on social media. We'll notify you guys when we're going live with the podcast episode. Look forward to Postums being on, hopefully on the next episode if all of our schedules can align. And if not, I'm sure we'll get them on at some point. So thank you guys so much again for the support. Go check out Kevin's holiday special. Leave a like, subscribe to our channels, and we'll catch you guys on the next podcast episode. Peace.